Wednesday show, Wednesday show, Wednesday show. Hello, everybody. Maybe. I don't know if you can hear me or if you're even there. I don't know if you would listen to a Brentage here. Yes, we're going to talk about Disney with every one of you. So come and join the chat now. It's what you've got to do. Come join us Wednesday. It is so fun. Hello. Yeah, brackets. We are continuing our bracket series tonight, which I absolutely love. Oh yeah. Hey Frank. So tonight we're going to be continuing our bracket series. If you guys don't know what the bracket series is, we're going to go into more detail about it later on. But tonight we're going to continue our bracket series that we started last week, trying to figure out what the best Disney soundtrack of all time is. And then we will just sing a lot. It's going to be terrible for your ears. I love doing the bracket series. The bracket series is one of my favorite things that we do here on the show. Which is okay. Let's throw that out there for those of you guys who watch on a regular basis. What's your favorite thing that we do on the Wednesday show? I enjoy it all, but I do love Connect the Dots. I love doing I think Ask the Experts, one of my favorite segments, just because I like having it so it's catering to everyone else's needs. You know, like what do you want to learn? What do you want to hear about? Frank likes reviewing Run Disney. Who knew? We'll have that episode in 2 weeks from tonight. Will be our next review one. Bracket in the games, bracket and Connect the Dots, all the runs. Connect the Dots is a lot of fun. I do like Connect the Dots a lot. When I first came up with the idea for Connect the Dots, I was like, I don't think this is going to go over well. And then I was pleasantly surprised at how well people took to it. Okay. So, without further ado, let's get this party started because we still have to add some more things to our bracket, and also we just have to have a lot of fun. So, let's get the 792nd episode of the Wednesday show started in 5, 4, 3, 2. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 792nd episode of the Wednesday show. Today is October 23rd, 2024, and I'm your host, as always, Brent Dodge. Hello. Today we're going to be going through and continuing our bracket series with you trying to figure out what on earth is the best Disney soundtrack of all time. But of course, before we get to that, let's talk about our news for the week. First off, thank you everyone out there who's been joining us for our Saturday in the Park. If you didn't already know, every single Saturday we do a live broadcast from someplace found throughout the Walt Disney World Resort. You never know where we're going to be coming to you from, but I promise you we will always be coming to you someplace around Walt Disney World. This past Saturday we came from Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run, and then we walked a little bit around Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. This coming up Saturday, I think I'm actually going to Magic Kingdom, which is a rare thing for me to do on a Saturday, because one of my friends wrote to me the other day saying that they're coming to town just for like 2 days only, and they wanted to see if I wanted to meet up with them at Magic Kingdom on Saturday for lunch. So don't quote me on that, but we might be coming to you from Magic Kingdom for a very rare Saturday in the Park from the Magic Kingdom this coming up Saturday. So make sure you join us every single Saturday at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. And of course, while we're on the subject of doing broadcasts, if you're not already subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Let's check out our subscriber count right now. And if we continue going up as the night goes on, we will go into extra innings. We are starting off at 8,039 subscribers, which is a bummer because literally 5 minutes before the show, we were at 8,040. So we lost one from a few minutes ago. But if we get back up to 8,040 as the show goes on here, we will go into extra bonus rounds as the evening goes on here as well. Also, as always, tonight's episode is sponsored by our Patreon pals. If you don't care, then you must be a snail. I don't know what that was. But if you are one of our Patreon pals in the chat room, give us an oh yeah. Also, if you are interested in becoming a Patreon Pal, all the Patreon Pals have been receiving chapters of the coming up book over the last few weeks there. We posted 2 more chapters for them last night. So if you want to become a Patreon Pal and get some sneak peeks at the new book, make sure you just, figure out how to become a Patreon Pal. Patreon.com/ is it at Brent Dodge or is it from Screen to Theme? I can't remember right now. Don't quote. Wait, I got the tab open right here. Which one is it? Come on. That's the book. We've got 2 tickets. Patreon.com/ Brent Dodge. If you're interested and, want to read a little bit of books and all that other fun stuff. There's some of our Patreon pals in the chat room as well. Oh, yeah. Okay, so tonight what we're going to do is we're going to be continuing our bracket series for our favorite soundtracks of all time put out by Disney. Now, if you've never done one of our bracket series in the past, it started off literally 15 years ago was our first bracket. And when we first did that first bracket years and years ago, I made a list of 64 things. I figured out, okay, this is going to be a really cool competition against this one, and against this one. And then a few years ago, we twisted it up like a knife to the back of your victim. No, I was just watching Survivor and someone was talking about a stab in the back. So anyways, we switched it up a few years ago where now it is completely randomized. So we never know if maybe the things that would have gotten first and second place at the end of the entire bracket series might be kicking each other out in the very first round. And then to, top that up, we decided a few years ago, instead of having it so I choose all the topics, we are letting you, along with myself, bring a lot of the topics into the thing. So we started off last week by listing off a total of 47 different soundtracks. Of course, 47 is not enough. We still need to add some more soundtracks into our competition here. So we're going to start off before we go into the vote. I need to have it so you guys start throwing into the comments a few of your favorite soundtracks that are Disney, and we're going to have it so they join into the thing. Now, in case you missed it last week, we do got things like The Lion King's in there, Toontown, the loop in Toontown, The Enchanted Tiki Room, DuckTales, woohoo! If You Had Wings, Gummy Bears, Beauty and the Beast, Peter Pan, Mickey's PhilharMagic, The Casey's Corner, Ragtime Piano, and so much more. So just throw it out there. What is your favorite soundtrack of anything and everything? Lady and the Tramp. I'm also going to have to do a lot of double checking here to make sure that all the stuff that we are choosing is not in there. Lady and the Tramp is not in there. So let's add that to the thing. Lady and the Tramp. I was watching the original Parent Trap yesterday, and I like the music in there. So I'm going to throw that in there too. The Parent Trap. Let's get together. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wishes does count, but Wishes has actually already been added into it. So good suggestion. It's already in there. So well played. You know what's another? Well, no, I can't. Oh, no. I'm throwing Pirates of the Caribbean in there. Pirates of the Caribbean. We also got Lilo and Stitch. Lilo and Stitch and Pirates of the Caribbean. Lilo and Stitch. Pirates of the Caribbean. Okay, we still have a few more here. We got like 12 or 13 that we still have to throw in there. So we need 12 or 13 more. The Swiss Family Robinson. That's another really good one. Let's throw that in there too. Swiss Family Robinson. Guardians of the Galaxy. I like where your head's at. Guardians of the Galaxy. Hercules. Herbie. We already have Tangled in there. I think we have Hercules, but let me just double check. Let me just double check that. Keep on throwing things out there. Do we have Hercules? I don't think we. No, we don't. Okay. Hercules is in there. Okay, we still needed another 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9? Maybe 10. I don't know. I'm just like throwing these into like random places so people don't know what numbers we're choosing. So it could be 9, it could be 10. I just did a quick count. We need a few more things. For those people who are just joining us right now, we are continuing our bracket series right now of the best Disney soundtrack of all time. We are looking for you guys to throw out a few more soundtracks that are put out by Disney that you love. These can be theme park soundtracks. These can be a Goofy movie and Soarin'. A Goofy movie and Soarin'. I love both of those. A Goofy movie, Soarin'. Hunchback of Notre Dame, we do have that one. Newsies, great soundtrack that I was actually thinking about beforehand. I was like, ooh, maybe we should throw Newsies in there. Newsies. We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're looking for 6 more soundtracks for you guys to throw out there. I have a few in my mind, but I'm gonna let you guys be the final deciders of what goes in here. I like some of these are really good. I'm kind of thinking like 101 Dalmatians. Canine Crunchy is good to eat. Dalmatians. Okay, we need 5 more. 5 more. Mary Poppins we already have in there. The Disneyland espionage music. Let's do it. That's a good one. That's a great one. Okay. Enchanted. How does he know? Wait a minute. I feel like we might already have Enchanted. Let me just double check that one. Keep on throwing your things in there. Enchanted might be joining. It might not be because it might already be in there. It is in there now. Okay. The Boo to You Parade. Oh, boo to you. A trick or treat. Ratatouille. Okay, we're looking for one more. Zootopia. Zootopia is our final one that is in there. Okay. Don't you know? Okay, we have a total of 64 things in there. Now, before we continue going on to our round here, in case you missed last week, just here's a very quick recap of what happened last week. We had the music of New Orleans Square go up against High School Musical, the series, and New Orleans won. Tangled versus Toy Story Land. Tangled won. Rocketeer versus Aladdin. Aladdin won. Coco versus the Main Street Electrical Parade with Coco winning. And Adventureland versus Moana with Moana winning. And finally, the first one was High School Musical. Then we had High School Musical, the series versus Mary Poppins on Broadway with Mary Poppins winning. Okay, let's continue. So we need 2 numbers from you guys out there between the number of 1 and 52. Completely random. The first 2 numbers to pop up in the chat room will be the first 2 going head to head against each other. Just throw one number out there. One number, and let's play our game here. Okay, we got number 16, and 16 is going to be going up against number. Maybe someone else is going to put a number out there. I know that there was a member of the Frank fam that was going to kill the other members of the Frank fam for not picking High School Musical, the series. But then she also threw in some really good songs today, and I think she's got a good musical taste. I just want to throw that out there. Annalise, if your family disowns you, I will adopt you at some point, possibly. Okay, so 16 against 40. 16 against 40. That is that one, and that is that one. Oh, this is the tale of, oh, wait a minute. I need to have like a different keyboard so I don't keep on moving the thing here. Okay. This is a tale of a classic musician versus a newer musician. A classic movie versus an old attraction. There are so many different things that are going head to head in this one that is going to be very difficult to think. However, there are some classic songs in both of these soundtracks, and both of these soundtracks are incredible. And I honestly right now have no idea which one's going to go on. We are having more and more people who are joining the chat room right now. Welcome to those people. We are doing our head-to-head challenge right now. So come on in, listen to our arguments, and then vote away. So first off, in our first battle of the night is a classic attraction that opened up back in 1963. And yes, this attraction features the world's first audiomatronics. It also features some of the most hilarious dialogue ever but it also features some amazing music. In the tiki room, in the tiki room, all the birds sing words and the flowers croon in the tiki room. That's right, we were talking about the Enchanted Tiki Room, a classic 1963 attraction, along with some amazing songs. Every single song in there is a banger. If you go to a club and they are not playing this music, you're in the wrong club. Can you imagine going to a club and they're like, yeah, the Enchanted Tiki Room. But anyways, going up against the Enchanted Tiki Room with all of its classic music is a soundtrack that makes you want to do better in life. If it makes you question things like, I can't say it. No chance, no way, I won't say it, no. You sue, you sigh, why deny it? Uh-oh. Of course, we're talking about Hercules. Hercules from 1997 features some of the most amazing songs of all time, from I Won't Say That I'm in Love to I Will Find My Way. I can go the distance. By the way, if anyone out there is watching it for the very first time, it's usually not a singing episode, and I do apologize. I know I'm a terrible singer. So we do have classic songs in Hercules that go through and have things like Zero to Hero, Who Put the Hunk in wait, I completely butchered that. Who put the glad in gladiator? Hercules. Honey, you mean Huncules. Oh, wait, so that is our first round for this evening. Which one do you want to have move on? Would it be Hercules or the Enchanted Tiki Room? You've got about a minute and a half to throw your votes into the comments starting right now. He was a no one, a 0-0. Now he's a hot shot. He is a hero. I honestly think both of these soundtracks are amazing. But at the same time, I also know what people are going to be voting for. Because as much as we all love Richard and Robert Sherman and the classic Enchanted Tiki Room, there is just something about that Hercules soundtrack that you really probably could play at a club. I don't know. I've never been to a club, so I'm the wrong person to ask. I've seen a baseball, no, that's a baseball bat. I've seen a golf club. That counts. All right, you guys got 45 seconds left to throw your votes in there. Oh, wait. I don't want to show the votes yet. He is a hot shot. He is a hero. You know, be kind of a fun twist is after we go through all of the things and we get down to our first, whatever the number one soundtrack of all time is, according to you guys, then we put all the songs against each other to figure out what the best song and the best soundtrack that Disney's ever done is against one another. Be kind of a cool twist. Just saying. I'll probably forget that twist. Honestly, now that I'm thinking about it too, the vote's up, by the way. You guys can throw votes in because now I'm just talking a lot. Usually I have a pretty good idea of what's going to win the entire competition. This one I am clueless on. I have a few that I'm like, I think this has a pretty good chance of winning, but I'm not positive. But you know what? We're still going to do it right now because we've done it every other time that we've done one of these competitions. I'm going to write a note. I might just be drawing here. And this is what? It's October 23rd, 2024. Okay, let's rip this page out of this journal here. Okay, right here is my prediction for the winner of this entire tournament. And just like we've done in the past, I'm going to put it right back here. Just someone please remind me in a few weeks when we get to the end of the competition. Okay, voting time is up. Let's go through and figure out what is moving on to the next round. We got 1, Hercules. 2 for Hercules. We have a 2-0 vote right now. 3-0 vote. 4-0. 5-0. We have a tiki room. 5-1. 5-2. Hercules is moving on. And if you are one of those people who are in the chat room right now and you're like, oh, you know what, this is kind of fun, but I wanted the Enchanted Tiki Room to win. Well, you might not have voted, so make sure you vote on the next one because we're going to the next vote right now. I need 2 numbers between the numbers of 1 and 50 for our next head-to-head competition. Right now in the chat room, first two numbers that pop up will be the ones that are going head-to-head against one another. We only had 7 votes on that one. There's currently a total of 21 people who are watching between Facebook and YouTube. So make sure you throw your things in there because your vote counts. Okay, we got number 2. And we also have number... Sometimes that works, but no one wrote another number there. Number 2 versus... No one? Oh, well, you do that one. I'm going to write down what number. Still, it's right now. It's 2 is 2. There we go. 2 versus 21. What's number 21 here? Oh. Okay. This is going to be 100% a runaway. I know which one's going to win, but I love both of these soundtracks so much. But we're going to start with one of them because that's, the way you have to start. Because if you don't start with one, you have to start with the other. Okay. So, back in the late 1990s, there was a television series that took the world by storm. I mean, there was TV shows like MASH going on, Cheers, different classic television shows, and none of them could hold a candle to the wind of ha 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 ha, spin it, ooh ah ooh oh ooh ah ooh ah ooh ah ooh oh, bear and grin it, ooh ah ooh oh ooh ah ooh ah ooh ah ooh oh, spin it, ba-da-ba-dum, ba-da-ba-ba. We're talking about Tailspin, of course. Oh yeah, Tailspin. Oh Tailspin. I also have a little kick cloud. I mean, I got those ones, but where's the little kick cloud kicker? I got a kick cloud kicker toy from the late or the early 90s. Oh, he's over there. I can't get him right now. Tailspin was one of those classic television series from the Disney afternoon, and it blew my mind. Literally, it blew my mind. It had some amazing songs in there, not just like the intro, but there was actually great musical moments throughout the course of the series. Every single character that was in the series was characters like Baloo, Kick Cloud Kicker, Don Carnage. This is Don Carnage, and you can hear me with the sound of my voice. This is absolutely hilarious. But we're not talking about the hilarity of things. We were talking about the soundtracks itself. So we do have the soundtrack for Tailspin, which is just a classic song that everyone who's heard it absolutely loves it. And then, of course, you've got Spin It, Let's Begin It. You can win it in a minute. You can spin it. You can win it in a minute when you spin it, boom, 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 Tailspin. All right, going up against Tailspin, I just had to start about that one because I love Tailspin, but I know it's about to get murdered, is a soundtrack which, in every sense of the word, would not work if it was not for the person who wrote the music. Come stop your crying, it'll be all right. Just take my hand. Hold it tight. That's right. We're talking about Tarzan. Tarzan came out in 1999 with some of the most amazing songs of all time. Songs like Son of Man. That was the only one. That was, no, You'll Be in My Heart, Trash in the Camp, and so many other classic songs in this film. If it was not for this film, I just don't know where Phil Collins' career would have gone. He probably never would have gotten into the Brother Bear. I mean, it's just a fact. But Tarzan has one of the best soundtracks of the 90s, if not of all time. And that's going to bring us to our second vote of the night. Which soundtrack would you like to move on to the next round? Tailspin or Tarzan? You've got about 90 seconds to throw your votes in, starting right now. Oh, yeah, Tailspin. Oh, Tailspin. Friends for life through thick and thin with another tailspin. Spin it. Ba-dum-ba-dum. Ba-dum-ba-bum, bum-bum-bum, ba-dum. Oh, yeah. Come on. I know Tailspin might get like one pity vote. Where's Eric? Eric, where are you at? Eric would vote for Tailspin. I need Eric in my life right now. Okay, yeah, we're going to give you guys like 15 more seconds to vote because right now it's just a massacre between Facebook and YouTube on these votes. But we also have a lot of people who are still not voting. So if you're one of those people who are not voting, come over and vote. Okay, we're going to give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's vote. We got 1 for Tarzan, 2 for Tarzan, 3 for Tarzan, 4 for Tarzan, 5 for Tarzan, 6 for Tarzan, 7 for Tarzan, 8 for Tarzan, 9 for Tarzan. Tarzan is moving on to our next round. Tarzan wins. I forgot to put down Hercules wins too. Okay, I need 2 numbers from you guys between the number of 1 and 48 thrown into the comments starting right now. I do love Tarzan. The Tarzan soundtrack is an incredible soundtrack. As soon this I'm gone. He's solid gone. I'm gone. Adios, bye bye. It's a great soundtrack. 48 and 33 are going to be our next 2. They're going to be going head to head against one another here. Versus, what was the other one? 33. 33. Oh. Okay, let's get us started here. What a dog. He's a tramp. They adore him. Breaks a new heart every day. He's a tramp. They adore him. I wish that he would travel my way. Lady and the Tramp is one of those classic films from 1955 that has so many classic, iconic songs like He's a Tramp, or of course, the famous, the wonderful, For This Is the Night, What a Beautiful Night, and they call it Bella Notte. Of course, Bella Notte being the song that Lady and Tramp share a plate of spaghetti with, and then they eventually kiss, and everyone's hearts just melt. Everything in Lady and the Tramp is just so beautiful. It's so well done, and just a lovely film. And part of that loveliness is because of these simple but catchy and memorable songs that come from the film. Going up against Lady and the Tramp is another film that is probably more well known for its music than for the actual film itself, if you were to ask people around these days on this soundtrack. But it is also one of the first times that a character has ever questioned why people are singing. And no, we're not talking about Tangled, because before Flynn Rider questioned why people were singing, a few years before that, we had How Does She Know You Love Her? How does she know she's yours? How does she know that you love her? We're talking about Enchanted. Enchanted is one of those films that just kind of fell off the radar for most people after its initial release. I, on the other hand, saw that movie 3 times in theaters. It's one of the few films I've actually seen multiple times in theaters, but I absolutely love this film from start to finish, but a big part of the reason is because of the music. Every single song in this film is a great song, from True Love's Kiss to the famous How Does She Know, and then at the very end of the film with You're in my heart. And that song was like a very nice, beautiful song at that point. But then when you go and watch World of Color over in California, and they have that after the death of Mufasa, it like takes on a whole different meaning and just makes you cry yourself to sleep. And that is going to bring us to our next vote of the evening. Which soundtrack do you want to have move on to the next round? Is it Lady and the Tramp or Enchanted? You've got about 90 seconds to throw your votes into the comments, starting right now. Both of these are great soundtracks. Don't get me wrong, but there is one. If it comes down to a tie, then I am the tiebreaker. But everyone's voting for the one I would vote for, so we're all good. Also, we currently have 23 people who are watching between YouTube and Facebook. If you're one of those 23 people who are not voting right now, make sure you throw your votes into the comments. Also, if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe as well. Also, you should hit that like button too, because it helps me out. Everyone is voting for the same thing. This is like a runaway. This is like Tarzan, take 2. In fact, we are going to call the voting period 10 seconds early. We're going to do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have 1 for Enchanted, 2 for Enchanted, 3 for Enchanted, 4 for Enchanted, 5 for Enchanted, 6 for Enchanted, 7 for Enchanted, 8 for Enchanted. And much like that dog that was taken into the back, you guys have killed Lady and the Tramp. Such a bad, terrible thing. Enchanted wins. Okay, I need 2 numbers between 1 and 46 to figure out what is going on to our next round here. 2 numbers starting right now. Remember that dog? He was so happy too when they were like taking him to the back. They're like, "You're never going to see that dog again." Oh, what a sad part of that movie. Remember, he was like happy too. He's like, "Ruff, ruff, ruff." And they're like, "Oh, he has no idea what's about to happen to him." Like the dogs are saying this. Like, okay, we need 2 numbers. We got one number, 27. 1 through 46 are our numbers here. 27's our first one. It is sad, but it's 27's our first one. What is it going to be our second one here? And 13. 27 versus 13. Oh. This is a really, really. So this is why I like the randomness of this thing, because if you were to ask me earlier today, what are like the 5 ones that I'm positive will not move on to the next round? These 2 are both on that list. So the fact that these 2 are now going head to head against each other, and one of them is making it to the final 32, it just shows randomness makes this thing a little bit more interesting. So let's get us started with a soundtrack that is when you walk around a land. And not only just any land, but over in Disneyland, while you're walking around Toontown, you can hear several different classic songs play, but not in the way that you can hear the same songs when you're walking around Fantasyland, where it's like the nice little carousel music. Instead, this is classic old Mickey Mouse cartoon style things put into a simple musical arrangement, and you can hear things like bum bum ba-dum ba-dum bum ba-dum bum bum ba-dum bum ba-dum ba-dum bum 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 ba-dum bum 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 bum, which is the Minnie's Yoo-Hoo song, but done in a more cartoony way for the land. So while you walk through the land, you can hear classic things like that, or bum 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 bum. Just very simple, it's still a very calming effect, but it's one of those lands where when I think about classic lands that you walk through and hear musical soundtracks, I don't think Toontown is one of my top ones, but at the same time, it is great songs. And then, of course, we do have classic songs from classic movies as well that feature Mickey, like the Sorcerer's Apprentice song is found in there, but with a different musical arrangement to it as well. Going up against this is yet another Sherman Brothers soundtrack. Who knew? Those guys wrote a lot of stuff. Now, in 1970, we had a brand new film come out called The Aristocats. And with The Aristocats, we got a lot of different songs that most of them kind of went over most people's heads. In fact, if I were to ask you guys to name off 5 songs from The Aristocats, I bet most of you guys would not be able to do it. I don't think I could either, because the music is good, but it's not great. But of course, there is one banger on the soundtrack, which is "Everybody Wants to Be a Cat, 'cause the cat's the only cat who knows where it's at." We've got other songs in there as well with which cat's the best with the pedigree. No, it's Aristocats. Anyways, let's get to the vote, because I don't know how much to talk more about these 2. We have either the Toontown soundtrack or the Aristocats soundtrack. Throw your votes into the comments. You got 90 seconds to throw your votes in for this one before we go into the one that I might have a better understanding of the music. Both of these, literally, I was typing all these things into the computer today from last week, and I had typed both of these ones in, and I was like, I don't think I would vote either one of these through to even the starting point, much less into a second round. And then I'll tell you my thing afterwards. But we do have it right now. It's okay. Actually, kind of it's kind of a split one. We're actually tied, crazily enough. Yeah, you guys have about 20 seconds left to throw your votes out there. although one of them is now slowly dominating, and I feel like that is going to be the one that's going to be moving on here. You got 10 seconds left here. That was a very quick 20 seconds, yes. You got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, we got 1 for Toontown, 2 for Toontown, 2-1, 2-2, 3-2 with your Aristocats in lead, 4-2, 5-2, 6-2, 6-3. The Aristocats will be moving on to our next round. Aristocats would not have been, if it came to a tiebreaker, I would have chosen Toontown. Okay, so the part of the Aristocats, while I talk, by the way, I need 2 numbers between 1 and 46, 44, 1 and 44. 2 numbers between 1 and 44. The Aristocats, the worst part of any song that Disney's ever done, it drives me crazy every time I hear it, is when Marie tunes in to Everybody Wants to Be the Cat and she goes rinky dinky dinky, because everything else is like so like it's a great song, and then all of a sudden she throws that in there, and every time I'm like, oh, I can't stand the way she says that. 12 versus 10 is going to be our next round here. Let's find out what 10 and 12 are. Okay, this is going to be a runaway. If this is not a runaway, I will be shocked. Okay, so let's start us off here with the one that is 12, because that was the first number that I read. Starting also off with 12 is a movie that features songs that you probably don't expect to hear. Things like, I want to say it's the Spice Girls, but don't quote me on that. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. You tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I wanna. Yes, that song is in a Disney movie. In addition to that, there are not a lot of other songs that are in this Disney movie. We do have the classic Raiders of the Lost Ark soundtrack. Bum ba-dum bum, bum ba-dum. That is in there for a very brief amount of time, but overall, there's not a whole lot in this soundtrack that is original and made specifically for the film. And of course, you're probably wondering, what on earth film are you even talking about? We're talking about Chicken Little, of course. Who didn't know that? Chicken Little, which I do find actually as a very good film when it comes to the soundtrack. Maybe not the best soundtrack, but Chicken Little is going to be going up against another film, which I don't know if it can beat the Spice Girls, but let's see if it can try. Because, of course, the Spice Girls are a classic icons from the UK. Everyone knows well, maybe not everyone. My parents probably have no idea who the Spice Girls are. But a lot of people know who they are, and they probably look at them as just classic people from the UK, classic British artists. Much like Elton John, who, of course, wrote music for this small little film called The Lion King. In The Lion King, we've got a few good songs like The Circle of Life. If you don't even say that, is it even in the Circle of Life? We've got Can You Feel the Love Tonight? I Just Can't Wait to Be King. Be Prepared. There are so many songs, one after another, after another, after another in The Lion King, that even if you don't like the movie, shame on you if you don't, even if you don't like the movie, it is almost impossible not to like the soundtrack, or to at least have one song in the soundtrack that you just can't help but sing along to. Things like, and the lyrics too. From the day we arrive on the planet, blinking step into the sun, there is more to see than can ever be seen, more to do than can ever be done. Just the classic lyrics. We get Hakuna Matata. What a wonderful phrase. Hakuna Matata. Ain't no passing craze. There are so many classic songs in The Lion King, but can it bring down Chicken Little? We'll find out right now, because you guys have 90 seconds to throw your votes into the comments on what you want to move on to the next round. Is it Chicken Little or The Lion King? Voting starts now. If Chicken Little moves on, I don't even know what I would do. I would be absolutely shocked. And it would be really funny too, because I know I'd be the type of person in the chat room who'd be like, well, no one's going to vote for Chicken Little. I'm Chicken Little. And the next thing you know, everyone's putting Chicken Little for the same thing. And then Chicken Little actually continues on to the thing. But I feel like if there's one vote for Chicken Little, I will be very impressed with Chicken Little right now. I'll tell you what I want. What I really, by the way, the I'll tell you what I want. What I really, really want. That scene is the Run to the Litter singing it with karaoke. It's a funny movie. Oh, there's a vote for Chicken Little. Yes. Okay, we're gonna give you 10 more seconds to vote. Although I don't even know how Chicken Little is gonna come back from this vote here. Guy, Lion King, 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 Chicken Little. So we are moving Lion King on to the next round. And I need two numbers from you guys between the numbers of 1 and 42. Throw them into the comments starting right now. I love the Lion King. Even just the movie, the soundtrack, everything about that movie is fun. Wait, but Chicken Tail Feather Cover was fun. I agree. There's a lot of. I think Chicken Little is a very fun movie that I don't think enough people appreciate. But the soundtrack is not the best soundtrack. 33 against number 10. Let's see what our next roundup is here. Oh! This is funny because I remember exactly who voted both of these. One of them was from last week. One of them is from this week. And the two people who voted, the person who nominated the one lives in the same house as the person who nominated the other. So if the Frank fam is going to be a family after this, really comes down to this right here. Okay, let's start off with the one that I know for a fact was nominated today by the daughter of the Frank fam. Hey, what's the song track for Guardians of the Galaxy is without a doubt, hands down, one of the best soundtracks of all time. Not only that, here is a fascinating fact for you. Did you know that Guardians of the Galaxy, the soundtrack, was the highest selling soundtrack of all time without a single original song made for the film? What? So the entire film consists of classic 1970s and 1980s classic rock and roll songs. Let me hear it. Let's Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack. Come and Get Your Love. Fooled Around and Fell in Love. Hooked on a Feeling. Ain't No Mountain High Enough. The Pina Colada song. You like pina coladas. Every single I Want You Back, Crazy on You, Since You've Been Gone, every Spirit in the Sky, every single song on the soundtrack is an amazing, amazing song that you just can't help but love. However, last week, the mom of the Frank fam said, I'm going to put this on because it is on Disney Plus. And yes, it is on Disney Plus. And yes, it too has a lot of bangers because my name is Alexander Hamilton. My name is Alexander Hamilton. I don't remember the next line, but just you wait. And we also have special appearances by the voice of, not Sven. Well, he's Sven too, actually, technically. Christoph. I couldn't. Who sings that song? Just you. Wait. No, wait. I was gonna say just you. No. What's the? You'll be back. Time will tell. No. How's it go? You know the song. Does someone out there know the song? Anyways, Hamilton, a unbelievable national phenomenon when it came out on Broadway, putting hip hop music with the story of Alexander Hamilton and how he had a rise and fall in the American everything. And Annalise is now going to have. Oh no, wait! I actually don't know. They're both like my favorite soundtracks ever. They are both classic soundtracks. Everything in Hamilton was specifically written for Hamilton. If you've never watched Hamilton on Disney Plus, I do recommend watching it at some point. It took me a while to get through it, but then when I found out that, hey, if you watch with the subtitles on, it makes things a whole lot easier to understand everything that's going on in the thing, and it actually is a very interesting thing. But that is going to bring us to our next vote here. What soundtrack would you like to move on to the next round? Is it the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack, or is it Hamilton? This is a crazy vote, because this is like the edge of Disney. Like, these are like Marvel and Disney Plus, and it's things that like Disney did not actually create, like any of the songs, but at the same time, both of the songs are. I do like both soundtracks. There, what is it? Just you wait. No, wait, that's You'll Be Back Soon. You'll see. Soon you'll me. I used to sing it every, like, when I heard it, I was like, oh, that's actually a really catchy song. Okay. You'll be back. Time will tell. Anyways, let's get to our vote here. We got one for Hamilton, one for Guardians of the Galaxy, two for Guardians of the Galaxy, 2-1 vote right now. 3-1, 4-1. This is so hard, but Hamilton, despite nominating Guardians of the Galaxy today, she votes for Hamilton. It is a 4-2 vote, 5-2 vote, 6-2 vote, 7-2 vote, 7-3. We do have a winner with Guardians of the Galaxy. Moving on to our next round. I figured that was going to be a tough one. I knew a lot of people. I knew a lot of people who were obsessed with Hamilton when it first came out. I think there's still a lot of people out there who are probably obsessed with Hamilton. But I knew a lot of people who are very obsessed, where they're like, I know every lyric and I know every dance move. Like, okay, good for you. Okay, I need two numbers between the numbers of 1 and 40 in the thing right now. We'll put that one there. I am, by the way, having it so all of the numbers going into round 2 are completely randomized. That way you don't know. Because I know, was it Shelly? Was it you who was like keeping track so that you would know exactly which numbers to pick? But now each round is even random. Okay, we got number 19 and number 2 are the first two to pop up there. 19 versus 2. Oh my gosh. These are two of my favorite soundtracks of all time. Okay. One is a park soundtrack. One is a movie soundtrack. Let's start off with the movie soundtrack, because that was the first number that popped up here. Tale as old as time. That's right. Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Beast has so many classic songs. Like, so many. Everything from the song Beauty and the Beast to Be Our Guest. Be our guest. Put our service to the test. Try the great stuff. It's delicious. Don't believe me. Ask the dishes. And then, of course, No One. The song gets started. I mean, there is just so many classic songs. Even Kill the Beast is a great song, despite the fact that they are singing about literally killing someone. Every single part of Beauty and the Beast is an amazing film, much like The Lion King, much like Tarzan, much like a lot of the other films that we talked about tonight. But a lot of it would probably not be what it is without the soundtrack that we have. So Beauty and the Beast is on one end. On the other end is a huge underdog, but at the same time, I feel like there's enough people out there who might be rooting for this underdog that it might go on. Now, this is a soundtrack that most people would not really think about as a soundtrack. However, when one person nominated this one last week, so many other people in the chat room said, yes, that's a great one to put in there, because this one is one of the most unique, one of the best soundtracks that you can have, and you can have it exclusively at Walt Disney World. You can't have it anywhere else. Not only that, it's not even while walking around a land. It is literally while you sit there, maybe with some corn dogs in hand, and listening to the Casey's Corner ragtime piano. This guy Specifically Grayson, I would like to throw out there because Grayson and I talk about once a week. We see each other over there. You can throw any Disney or classic old-timey song at this guy, and he will play it with so much gusto, so much enthusiasm, and every single one of them is amazing. It really is absolutely amazing. Everything from Beauty and the Beast, which it's going up against, to Peter Pan, The Aristocats, The Beautiful Briny Sea, and so much more. It's like a completely different soundtrack, but I agree, it is without a doubt one of the best, if not the best soundtracks anywhere in the parks. And that, my friends, is going to be our matchup. Which one do you want to have go on? Beauty and the Beast or the Casey's Corner Ragtime Piano? Throw your votes in starting right now. I cannot believe that these two are going head to head because these are two that I actually would put up there as possibly top 4. So the fact that we are going to be knocking one of these off. This is a tough, like this is a really tough one, which is funny because here let's get to, just in case you've never heard. Here, this is one that I requested him to learn how to play, and then he played it the next time I saw him. Oh, this is just a sound. Here we go. The Beautiful Briny Sea. You can tell this guy play the song, and he plays it. It's insane. Okay, let's check out our votes here because you guys are throwing the votes out there, but I feel like who else is here to see this debate in the Frank Fam every time? That's all I'm here for. Okay, we got 1 for Beauty and the Beast. Got to go with Grayson. That's a 1-1 vote, 2-1 vote with Casey's Corner in the lead, 2-2. Grayson, Casey's Corner playing Beauty and the Beast. 3-3, then 4-3. It looks like Beauty and the Beast barely wins. We had a lot of people who did not vote on that one too, by the way. I figure Beauty and the Beast would win. And the Beast, let's throw that number there. I figured Beauty and the Beast would move on, but at the same time, those are both just, I absolutely love sitting there and listening to Grayson. I could do it literally, well, I do it every week. I was going to say, I could do it every week, but I really do. Okay, I need 2 numbers between 1 and 38. We are getting down there, people. We are almost halfway through our first round. So 2 numbers between 1 and 38. This might be our last one, unless, of course, we can get 1 more subscriber. We're still sitting at 8,039. So keep on throwing your friends over so we can go into some extra innings here tonight. Number 4 and number 35. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one too. Okay. This is a tough one. You guys have really done a great job of making a bunch of soundtracks that I think are just great soundtracks. And then some of them have gone head to head against each other, like Toontown and the Aristocats. And I'm like, well, I don't want either one of these to move on. But this one, though, I would love for both of these to move on to the next round. So let's get us started with one that is more instrumental than the other one. Back in the late 2000s, 2008, 2009, 2007. I'm drawing a blank on the year, but we got a movie by Pixar about a little rat who could play puppet master with a little chef. and make amazing, amazing, amazing meals. But that wasn't the star of the film. It wasn't Remy. It wasn't Linguini. It wasn't the fact that this rat could go through and cook. It was the music. The music in Ratatouille is some of the most powerful instrumental music that Pixar has ever done. It is just a great soundtrack, and without a doubt, it's probably one of my favorite soundtracks that they've ever done from start to finish. It's just very peaceful, very calm. I love every second of it. I can't sing anything because it's instrumental, but I'm sure a lot of people are like, why didn't we choose all instrumental ones? We could have had not singing at all. Going up against it, though, is a soundtrack that is very new. In fact, I think it might be the newest soundtrack on our entire list this evening, but it consists of all old songs with the exception of one song that was made exclusively for the thing. It's an attraction. And this attraction features songs like the Five Bear Rugs. That's right, we're talking about Country Bear Jamboree. The new Country Bear Jamboree, the Country Bear Musical Jamboree, has a very interesting, very unique soundtrack that features songs like Try Everything from Zootopia. Zootopia is also on this list eventually. We also have things like I Can Show You the World from Aladdin, sung by a bear. We also have Kiss the Girl, sung by a bear. We also have Fixer Upper from Frozen, sung by a bear. We got Remember Me, sung by a bear. We've got You've Got a Friend of Me, sung by a bear and a raccoon. And then, of course, we have the Bear Necessities as well. From start to finish, every single song in the new Country Bear Musical Jamboree is a great song from start to finish. But the question is, which one do you want to have move on to the next round? Is it the Ratatouille soundtrack or the brand new Country Bear Musical Jamboree soundtrack? You've got about 90 seconds to throw your votes in, starting right now. Oh, this is another mother-daughter matchup? You chose Country Bear Musical Jamboree? I love the start of it with it. It's the Country Bear Musical Jamboree. That's all I remember from it off the top of my head. But I do really, 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 really enjoy the Country Bear Musical Jamboree song, the Five Bear Rugs sing. Bing, bing, bing. That was not the Herbie song, though. I feel like Ratatouille will probably win this one, but I'm not really positive. I feel like if I had to choose, I might actually choose Country Bear Musical Jamboree. I've been watching it at least once a week since it came out because I just think the music's very catchy. I don't know. I just really like it. I do really like it. Okay, you've got about 15 seconds left to throw your votes out there. But I might go for Ratatouille too if it comes down to a tiebreaker because I really do like. It's just a very peaceful Ratatouille music. Is it? Yesterday I did that video, or 2 days ago, 3 days ago. I don't know. I don't know time anymore. But a few days ago I did that video about the Eiffel Tower. Was that yesterday that came out? Might have been yesterday it came out. So I filmed it 2 days ago then. And when I filmed that, I was sitting there listening, and I was like, I just love the music in this area with the Ratatouille music. Okay, let's go to our vote here. Oh yeah, we got one for Country Bear Musical Jamboree, one for Ratatouille. It is a tie. Now it is a 2-1 with Country Bear in the lead. 2-2, tied it up. 3-2, Ratatouille's in the lead. 4-2, Ratatouille's in the lead. 4-3, 4-4, and that's all the votes. We still have other people who are watching but not voting. But this one apparently comes down to, oh wait, no, Frank voted Ratatouille. Ratatouille will be moving on to our next round. Thank you, Frank, for making it so I don't have to be the bad guy tonight. Ratatouille. Ratatouille wins. Okay. It's about time for us to wrap up the show, but let's do one more round. And that gives you guys time to possibly get one more person to subscribe in the meantime here too. Ratatouille. Okay, Ratatouille's moving on. Oh, I need two numbers between 1 and 36. Throw those two numbers out in the chat room starting right now. First two to pop up will move us on here. And while we're going through this potentially final vote, if we do get one more subscriber, we will go into another extra round. And while we're doing that one, if we get another subscriber, we will go into another extra round. And if we get another subscriber during that round, we will go into another extra round. until eventually we've done every round. All right, we got number 6 and number 5 are our next two that pop up there. Ooh, oh, ooh. Okay. Okay, this is going to be an interesting one because I know people who love both of these. I know which one. If it's a tiebreaker, I already know which one I'm voting for. So let's see what happens here. First off, we've got things like that's Davy Crockett. That played on a banjo. Then we got other songs that are all classic frontier style songs played on like banjos and musical instruments like that. And I know what you're thinking. Why? Why are they played like that? Well, because we are talking about the Frontierland loop. While you're walking through Frontierland from the old spot where the Frontierland Shooting Arcade is all the way down to Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, you can hear classic songs from the frontier times. Some of them are played on banjos, some of them are played on guitars, some of them are played on other musical instruments. But overall, the entire thing is supposed to put you in the mood to feel like you are in frontier times. And overall, it does an amazing job with that feeling from start to finish. Overall, it's a great soundtrack when you're walking through the land. I personally love it. I personally wish that I could go through Frontierland every day, but instead I go 3 times a week. So going up against Frontierland is a soundtrack that I personally love. Absolutely love. And it's one of those soundtracks that I feel like does not get enough credit because it is a sequel. And because it's a sequel, most people say, well, it's not as good as the original. Well, yes, that's probably true. But at the same time, some of the songs in the sequel are just as good as the ones from the original. We're talking about Mary Poppins Returns, where we got things like Light a Little Light Fantastic, or I want to save that one for the last one. I'm just trying to think of what the next song I was going to list off. I had like 3 of them in my head when I the place where the lost things go, and of course, a cover is not the book. A cover is not the book. The book. That's not the one I was thinking of. Though my favorite song in the entire film, without a doubt, and I actually listen to it multiple times every week because it's one of those songs that when you exit your house and you're listening to the song, it just puts you in that mood that you can achieve anything, that everything around the corner is going to be great. And it's called Nowhere to Go But Up. And it's one of those songs that just puts you in a great mood. Now, the great thing about Mary Poppins Return soundtrack is every single song in there is kind of like a different version of a song that is found in the original Mary Poppins. So Nowhere to Go But Up is kind of a play on Let's Go Fly a Kite. So while you go through and listen to this music, it comes down to which one is better. Is it Mary Poppins Returns or Frontierland soundtrack? Throw your votes in starting right now. You've got 90 seconds to throw your vote in starting right now. Life's a balloon that tumbles or rises depending on what is inside. Fill it with hope and playful surprises. And here, dearie, gotta go for a ride. Look inside the balloon, and if you hear a tune, there's nowhere to go but up. It's such a great sound. That is, without a doubt, Nowhere to Go But Up by Mary Poppins and Mary Poppins Returns, one of my favorite songs, like, that Disney's ever done. No joke whatsoever. Like, I am being 100% serious right now. Okay, you guys have about 15 seconds left to throw your votes in, and also to potentially get another subscriber so we can go into another round here. Remember that one time we were doing one of these things, and I was like, well, if we get another subscriber, like, we'll go into extra earnings, and then we'll go into, and I don't know who it was, but one person out there was like calling every person they knew. They're like, hey, grandma, can you get your neighbor on the phone? I need them to subscribe to someone on YouTube. And that's how we went on forever that night. Okay. Yeah, one for Mary Poppins Returns, one for the Frontierland Loop, two for Mary Poppins, 3-1, 4-1, 4-2, 5-2, 6-2. Mary Poppins Returns will be returning once again to our next round of competition. Yay! Mary Poppins Returns. And let's throw that one. Let's put that one right there, actually. Ha ha ha. Last week we had Mary Poppins on Broadway move on, so this thing is slowly being dominated by Mary Poppins. Our second round. How crazy would it be actually if Mary Poppins and Mary Poppins Returns and Mary Poppins on Broadway ended up being 3 of the final 4? that actually would be incredible. Like it would blow my mind. Okay, so let's take a look to see our subscriber count. We are still sitting at 8,039. So we are going to be wrapping up our show right here. But of course, before we go, as always, tonight's episode is sponsored by our one, our only, our pay. Wait, let's do it to a tune of one of our songs that we just had when. I got one. Patreon pals, they are Patreon pals, Patreon pals, Patreon pals, Patreon, Patreon pals, Patreon pals, Patreon, Patreon pals, 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 Patreon pals. From the moment they type "oh yeah" in the chat room, you know that they are Patreon pals. They help fund the show so it can go on. They are the Patreon pals, the Patreon pals. Da 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 da. Okay, thank you everyone for joining us once again tonight. As always, if you're one of the Patreon pals, throw an "oh yeah" in the chat room so everyone knows who you are. We do appreciate you guys. It was not for you. Oh yeah. The Patreon pals help provide my beautiful music talent. So if there's someone to blame the Patreon pals. Don't do that to them. I appreciate everything that they do for me. Thank you, our Patreon pals, for being Patreon pals. As always, thank you for everyone out there for joining us once again this week. I hope you guys enjoyed our next battle here. Like I said last week, next week we will not be going back to the bracket. Next week we're going to be doing a special episode, possibly, not positive, but possibly from the park or possibly from here doing a Halloween episode. So make sure you join us next week for that. Following week after that, we are going to be doing a Wine and Dine half marathon recap. And then the week after that, we'll be back to our bracket series here as well. So make sure you continue to join us every single Saturday, Saturday too, for our Saturday in the Park, and every single Wednesday right here as well. Keep spreading the word about the Wednesday show and from Screen to Theme. And as always, remember that anything can happen if you let it. Until next time, have a great week, everybody. Bye-bye. Goodbye now. Goodbye. Bye-bye now. Goodbye. Are they gone? Are they gone? Oh, good. My cheeks are just killing me. I just can't stand this kind of pressure.